Welcome back to Luxury Home Decor. Here's a surprising truth. The most memorable backyard walkways rarely start with expensive stone, they begin with a clever layout. Today, I'll show you how rhythm, spacing, and texture transform simple stepping stones, patterned pavers, and humble gravel into a destination. Think of your path as a story. A beginning at the porch, a plot twist beside a planter, and an ending at a cozy bench. Ready to design a journey under your feet. Before choosing materials, map your movement. Identify everyday routes, from grill to dining nook, from gate to garden shed, and sketch gentle curves that feel natural. Curved lines slow the eye, making small yards appear larger and more luxurious. 4 tight patios. A subtle S-shape adds intrigue without stealing space. Mark transitions where you'll change materials or introduce a pause point, like a bird bath or herb pot, to create satisfying visual beats. Let's start with affordable stepping stones, the minimalist's best friend. Large concrete rounds or squares placed with generous gaps can feel airy and modern. Set each stone at a natural stride length, usually 24 to 30 inches, so walking feels effortless. Soften edges with low moss, dwarf thyme, or finely crushed gravel between stones. This prevents muddy patches while adding fragrance and texture. A simple rhythmic grid reads clean and calm, perfect for contemporary or Scandinavian-inspired yards. If you love organic charm, try irregular stepping stones that mimic a woodland trail. Choose stones with slightly domed faces for comfortable footing and set them into compacted sand for stability. Vary the rotation of each piece to keep the path from feeling too deliberate. Sprinkle decomposed granite around the edges to blend with soil. Plant tufts of sedge or sweet alyssum nearby for movement and seasonal blooms, crafting a softened storybook edge that never feels fussy or staged. Color matters more than you think. Pale stones brighten shaded corners and visually widen narrow spaces, while darker tones ground sun-drenched areas and hide dust. Aim for a restrained palette, 2 dominant hues and 1 accent, to keep the walkway cohesive with your facade and furniture. If your home's trim is cool, lean into gray limestone and charcoal gravel. Warmer exteriors pair beautifully with sandstone, buff pavers, and caramel pea gravel, ensuring every step harmonizes with your architecture. For a budget-friendly glow-up, try tinted concrete stepping stones. Mix cement dye in subtle shades, smoke, taupe or slate blue, and pour into reusable molds. Vary tones slightly for a bespoke, layered look. Lightly brush the surface before curing to create microtexture that enhances grip during rainy seasons. Seal with a matte finish for durability without a plastic shine. The result feels artisan-made, yet costs a fraction of imported stone, leaving room in your budget for plants and lighting. Paver patterns are where personality shines. A simple running bond elongates a space, leading the eye toward focal points like a fire pit or pergola. Herringbone adds energy and stability, perfect for high-traffic routes that double as play paths. Basketweave delivers a tailored heritage vibe, especially near classic brick facades. Mix formats, rectangles with small squares as punctuation, to transition between zones, signaling an outdoor dining threshold or a calmer lounge area without using physical barriers. To elevate pavers economically, combine concrete with strategic highlights. Use standard pavers for the main run, then add a slim border of natural stone or clay brick to frame the walkway. This trim acts like a picture frame, sharpening edges and protecting the gravel or mulch beyond from drifting. Consider a double soldier course at turns to emphasize curves. Choose a border one shade darker than the field pavers. The subtle contrast reads intentional and high-end without inflating costs. Gravel paths are the ultimate chameleon, affordable, permeable, and rich with texture. Pea gravel feels beachy and relaxed, while crushed granite offers a finer, more compacted finish. For stability, excavate a few inches, lay landscape fabric, and install a honeycomb grid or edging to keep gravel in place. Compact in layers with a hand tamper. A whisper-thin top dressing refreshed each season keeps the surface pristine. Add stepping stone islands, where you transition to grass or planting beds. Sound design matters too. Gravel introduces a gentle crunch that signals arrival and adds sensory charm. To keep that sound pleasant, avoid oversized stones, which can feel clunky underfoot. If accessibility is a priority, choose resin-bound aggregates or stabilized decomposed granite for a firm, wheelchair-friendly surface. These systems bind particles without losing breathability, reducing dust and tracking. They're ideal near doorways or indoor-outdoor thresholds where cleanliness and smooth transitions are key. Seasonal updates keep walkways fresh. In spring, accent edges with bulbs and cool-toned foliage. Think blue fescue and grape hyacinth. Summer loves drought-tolerant companions like lavender, yarrow, and rosemary that release scent as you brush past. Fall invites copper grasses and marigolds flanking warm-toned pavers. Winter craves structure. Evergreen boxwood nubs, hellebores, and lanterns that mark the path after dusk. Small, strategic swaps make the same hardscape feel reinvented 4 times a year. Lighting turns a path into an experience. Low bollards spaced thoughtfully create a dotted rhythm, while concealed strip lights under paver lips give a floating effect. For gravel, simple solar spikes can be staggered, guiding footsteps without glare. Aim for warm white temperatures to flatter stone and greenery. Avoid runway-style symmetry. Instead, light where choices happen. Junctions, steps, seating, and let shadows provide drama. The interplay of light and texture adds evening luxury at minimal energy cost. Edging is the quiet hero of longevity. Steel edging offers a crisp, contemporary line that keeps gravel corralled and pavers locked. Brick on edge adds a classic tailored boundary, perfect beside cottage gardens. Timber sleepers feel relaxed but should be pressure treated or hardwood to resist rot. In tiny yards, flush edging keeps lawn equipment from snagging. A consistent edge language throughout your yard ties disparate materials together, making the entire landscape read as one cohesive design. If your yard slopes, treat elevation as a feature. Introduce shallow terraces with short risers and deep treads, using the same paver field as the main path for continuity. Break runs with landings sized for a chair or pot cluster, creating pause points that feel intentional. Add a French drain or permeable base to direct stormwater away from foundations. Proper grading not only protects your home but also keeps stones stable through freeze-thaw cycles and heavy seasonal rains. Pattern mixing is easier with scale hierarchy. Pick one hero pattern, perhaps a herringbone landing, then connect it with simpler stepping stones or a linear paver run. The eye craves rest, so sandwich dynamic patterns between calmer segments. Limit mixes to 2 or 3 materials total. If you introduce gravel, echo its tone in cushions or planters nearby. Repetition builds cohesion, allowing even thrifty materials to read as curated rather than cobbled together. On a tight budget, combine reclaimed brick with inexpensive gravel. Lay bricks at key moments: the front step, the curve around a tree, the area by a bench. Then let gravel handle the long stretches. The brick's warmth provides historic charm, while gravel keeps costs low and drainage high. Clean reclaimed pieces with a stiff brush, celebrate their patina, and randomize tones so no section feels too uniform. A final sweep of jointing sand locks everything snugly. Décors can cast stepping stones with embedded character. Press leaves, fern fronds, or geometric stamps into the wet surface to create subtle relief. Once cured, a light wash of diluted masonry stain exaggerates patterns without turning them loud. Make a few in larger dimensions, 20 to 24 inches, to double as plant stands or pedestal spots for lanterns. Consistent thickness ensures safe footing and prevents rocking. Remember to cure slowly in shade for strength and an even finish. Space optimization begins with path width. 4 single-file routes. 32 to 36 inches keeps movement comfortable. 4 two people walking side by side. 42 to 48 inches feels gracious. Where space is tight, widen only at pause points, a bench alcove or herb corner, so the experience breathes without consuming the entire yard. Think of these expansions as outdoor bay windows, creating micro-destinations that invite lingering while preserving lawn or planting real estate. Consider the destination as much as the journey. A walkway that ends at nothing feels abrupt, so anchor terminations with purpose. A cafe table, a water feature, a sculpture plinth, or a small kitchen garden. Let scent mark arrivals. Mint near the grill, jasmine beside loungers. Matching the function to the finish. Smoother pavers for dining, cushioned gravel for casual strolls, ensures each zone supports behavior. When use and material align, your path naturally becomes part of daily routines. Drainage underpins durability. Start with a compacted subbase of crushed stone, then a bedding layer of sand for pavers or stabilized fines for gravel. Slight crowns or cross-slope gradients move water off the surface efficiently. Where rain concentrates, incorporate permeable joints or a decorative river rock ribbon that doubles as a mini swale. This water-wise detail protects your investment, nurtures nearby plantings, and keeps walking surfaces comfortable through seasonal downpours and snow melt. If frost heave is a concern, dig a bit deeper and use geotextile fabric to separate native soil from your base. This prevents mixing and preserves stability. Choose polymeric sand for paver joints to resist weed growth and ant tunnels. 4 stepping stones. Undercut the turf neatly and set each piece level with surrounding grade for easy mowing. These details are economical yet powerful, cutting maintenance while keeping lines crisp and the walkway safe year-round. Texture layering delivers luxury without luxury pricing. Pair a smooth paver landing with subtly tumbled edges along the run, then soften borders with feathery grasses. Add a gravel shoulder that catches fallen petals, creating a seasonal confetti effect. The contrast between refined surfaces and natural textures feels intentional. Echo one texture elsewhere. A rough planter, a woven chair, so your material story repeats. Repetition is the secret to making budget choices read bespoke. For a modern statement, experiment with oversized pavers spaced in a floating pattern across gravel. Align stones to architectural lines, the axis of a door, the edge of a deck, to create visual continuity. Keep joints consistent for calmness, and use fine gravel infill for easy walking. This composition spotlights negative space, making small yards feel artful and uncluttered. With solar-powered edge lights, the layout glows at night like a gallery floor under the stars. Curves can be economical if you standardize radii. Pick one curve size and repeat it at turns, landings, and planting beds. This reduces cutting waste for pavers and keeps layouts clean for DIY execution. Use a garden hose as a flexible guide. Then transfer the line with marking paint before excavation. Plant low, mounding species along the inside of curves and taller, airy ones on the outside to exaggerate the bend and build a sense of movement. If your soil is sandy, lean into permeable strategies. A compacted gravel base with resin-stabilized top keeps dust down and provides excellent drainage. Add timber or steel edging to retain shape. Planting pockets cut into the path can host hardy succulents or blue fescue for color pops. In clay-heavy areas, raise the path slightly and incorporate crushed stone bases with perforated pipe where needed. Tailoring techniques to soil saves money long-term on repairs and releveling. Seasonal styling keeps the walkway lively. Swap out lanterns, cushions on nearby seating, and small planters to echo seasonal palettes. Spring mint and blush, summer indigo and citron, autumn rust and aubergine, winter evergreen and brass. These touches cost little but refresh the narrative. For holidays, use temporary stakes or clip-on path markers rather than drilling into pavers. Consistency in scale and spacing prevents festive additions from cluttering the clarity of your design. For families, integrate play quietly into the path. Cast stepping stones with engraved numbers or constellations for hopscotch adventures. Arrange pavers to form gentle zigzags that encourage balance. Keep textures foot-friendly and edges smooth. Near seating, include a mini gravel sandbox framed by steel edging, easy to rake smooth after playtime. These gestures make your walkway more than circulation. It becomes a backdrop for memories, without sacrificing the elegance of your overall aesthetic. Sustainability dovetails beautifully with style. Choose locally sourced stone and regionally appropriate aggregates to reduce transport impact. Opt for permeable bases that return rain to the ground, nourishing trees and reducing runoff. Reuse demolition brick as borders, celebrating character rather than hiding it. Solar lights sip energy while adding ambience. Native plants flanking the path invite pollinators, stitching your walkway into the local ecosystem. Green choices often prove the most enduring and cost-effective. If privacy is limited, choreograph sightlines. Use the walkway to steer views toward the prettiest parts of your garden and away from neighboring windows. Subtle bends create moments of reveal. Plant tall, airy screens. Feather reed grass, bamboo in planters, bottle brush. At strategic points, leaving the path itself open and safe. The feeling of discovery elevates even the simplest materials, turning a short stroll from gate to door into a gracious, cinematic experience. For compact courtyards, stack functions. A path can become bench plinths, planter shelves, or stepping stone seating around a firebowl. Use thicker pavers or cast concrete blocks at key intervals to double as perches. Keep the rhythm consistent so the line remains legible. Integrate storage by recessing a gravel panel with stepping stone lids that lift to hide hoses or tools. Multipurpose features stretch the budget and maintain a serene, uncluttered look. Maintenance is easier with smart choices. Choose jointing materials that resist washout, install edging that keeps gravel corralled, and sweep polymeric sand into paver gaps for weed resistance. Rake gravel lightly after storms to refresh the surface and redistribute fines. Each season, top dress thin areas and reset any rocking stepping stones. These quick routines preserve the crisp geometry you work to create, ensuring every walk from gate to garden feels intentional and comfortable. Material sourcing can be creative. Visit salvage yards for odd-lot pavers, leftover stone pallets, or reclaimed brick at a fraction of retail price. Mix slight variations intentionally for a curated, layered look. Ask for shorts and ends to use as charming border accents. If you're purchasing new, request samples and build a small mock-up on-site to test color in morning, midday, and evening light. Natural and cast materials shift with light. Choose what flatters your yard's mood. For coastal or rainy climates, prioritize slip resistance. Select pavers with micro-etched faces or naturally textured stone like slate and quartzite. For gravel, avoid overly round, rolling stones on sloped areas. Opt for angular aggregates that knit together. Sealers should be breathable and matte to maintain traction. Where moss is welcome aesthetically, keep it to edges and avoid primary stepping zones. Safety should feel invisible, a series of thoughtful specifications that simply make walking feel secure. Create moments of pause with mini plazas along the path. Widen the route into a circle or square just big enough for 2 chairs and a side table. Use a distinct pattern, basket weave or a circular set, to signal you've arrived. Surround with fragrant herbs and raised planters so brushing releases scent. This is where morning coffee tastes better and sunset chats linger. The walkway becomes a necklace, and these plazas are the gems, catching light and attention. Contrast is your ally. Pair delicate plant textures, heuchera, thyme, dwarf mondo grass, against sturdy paver lines to heighten both. Use a single dramatic boulder beside a gentle gravel curve to anchor the composition. Introduce a thin brass or corten reveal between paver fields for a luxe detail that costs surprisingly little. When the eye senses a confident contrast, the whole space reads designed. Keep contrasts clear but not chaotic by limiting them to a few well-chosen moments. For a cottage sensibility, weave the path through planting drifts. Allow thyme and chamomile to feather over stepping stone edges, releasing fragrance with every step. Use soft limestone or tumbled brick to echo the romance. Place small, arched trellises where the path narrows, training sweet peas or clematis overhead. The experience becomes immersive, like turning pages in a garden novel. Even in modern settings, a short cottage-inspired segment adds charm without compromising overall cohesion. Bold geometry suits contemporary homes. Lay large format rectangular pavers in a staggered pattern with generous negative space. Introduce a single diagonal band of smaller units to break predictability and draw the eye toward a sculptural planter or water feature. Keep planting minimalist. Architectural agaves, clipped spheres, or upright grasses, so the hardscape leads. The restraint reads luxurious and allows budget-friendly concrete to masquerade as boutique stone through proportion, alignment, and thoughtful spacing. Think about scent and sound layers. Plant rosemary by the kitchen door, lemon balm along an afternoon route, and night-blooming jasmine near evening seating. Add a small bubbler where paths intersect to mask street noise and invite birds. Gravel's gentle crunch complements water's hush, turning passage into sensory ritual. These micro-luxuries cost little but create daily pleasure, reinforcing your walkway as more than a shortcut. It becomes a ceremony that frames your time outdoors. Accessibility should be integrated, not added. Maintain consistent riser heights on any steps. Provide resting landings, and keep slopes gentle. Choose leveled surfaces near thresholds, transitioning from textured pavers outdoors to mats indoors that catch grit. If you include lighting, ensure fixtures don't glare at eye level. Plant thorn-free species close to the path. Design that welcomes every age and ability isn't just considerate, it's timeless. Good pathways serve everyone gracefully.